When Mike Tyson walked into that Tokyo ring in 1990, he was still the most feared man in boxing. But inside, something had already broken. What happened in the 3 days before that fight explained everything that came after. Tokyo, Japan, February 11th, 1990. Sunday morning. The Tokyo Dome sits massive and silent, waiting. In less than 24 hours, it will hold 40,000 people screaming for blood. But right now, at 6:30 in the morning, Mike Tyson sits alone in his hotel room on the 28th floor, staring at the city below. He is 23 years old. He is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He has destroyed every opponent put in front of him. 37 wins, 33 by knockout. Most of them in the first round. He is supposed to be invincible, but Mike Tyson does not feel invincible this morning. He feels hollow, empty, like something critical has been removed from inside him, and he is just going through the motions, pretending to be the person everyone expects him to be. He has not slept well in 3 days, not because of nerves about the fight. He is not nervous about Buster Douglas. Nobody is nervous about Buster Douglas. Douglas is a 42-1 underdog, a journeyman, a fighter with a losing record against top competition. This fight is supposed to be easy, a tune-up, a showcase. But Tyson cannot sleep because his mind will not stop. It keeps returning to the same place, the same person. Cus D'Amato, the old man who found him in a juvenile detention center in upstate New York when Tyson was 13 years old. The old man who saw something in this angry, broken kid that nobody else saw. The old man who became the only father Tyson ever really had. Cus died 5 years ago, in 1985, just months before Tyson won his first heavyweight title. Tyson was 19 when Cus passed, and in the 5 years since, Tyson has been slowly falling apart without realizing it. Cus used to say the same thing over and over during training. Discipline, Mike. Discipline is what separates champions from everyone else. Not talent, not power. Discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done even when you do not want to do it. Especially when you do not want to do it. Tyson heard those words 1,000 times, but hearing them and living them are different things. And without Cus there to hold him accountable, Tyson has let discipline slip away piece by piece. But Cus D'Amato had warned him about this exact moment. 3 years earlier, Cus sat with Tyson in the living room of the house in Catskill, New York. The same house where Tyson lived after Cus took him in. The same house where Tyson learned to box, learned to think, learned to become something more than the violent kid from Brownsville, Brooklyn. Cus was dying then. Cancer. He knew it. Tyson knew it. But they did not talk about it directly. Instead, Cus talked about the future, about what would happen after he was gone. "Mike, listen to me carefully," Cus said, his voice weak but firm. "When you become champion, people will come into your life. People who want something from you, money, fame, access. They will tell you what you want to hear. They will say they care about you. But most of them will not care about you. They will care about what you can do for them. And you will be surrounded by people, but you will be alone. That is when discipline matters most. That is when you need to remember what we built here." Tyson nodded. He understood, or he thought he understood. But understanding something and living through it are different things. And now, sitting in this Tokyo hotel room, Tyson realizes Cus was right. He is surrounded by people, but he is completely alone. His marriage to actress Robin Givens fell apart publicly, humiliatingly. She went on national television, and called him manic depressive, unstable, scary. The whole world watched his personal life collapse. The divorce was finalized 6 months ago. The woman he thought he loved told the world she was afraid of him, that she had made a mistake marrying him. Tyson wanted to disappear after that, wanted to hide. But champions do not get to hide. They have to keep fighting, keep performing, keep being the monster everyone expects them to be. And then there is Don King, the promoter with the wild hair and the big promises. King convinced Tyson to fire his longtime trainer, Kevin Rooney, 2 years ago. Rooney was one of Cus's students, one of the last connections Tyson had to the old man. But King said Rooney was holding Tyson back, taking too much money, not evolving with the times. So Tyson fired him. And since then, training camp has been chaos. A revolving door of trainers who do not really know Tyson, do not really understand how Cus built him, do not really push him the way he needs to be pushed. This training camp for the Douglas fight was a disaster. Tyson spent more time partying in Tokyo than training. He showed up late to sessions. He did not take it seriously. Why would he? Nobody gave Douglas a chance. The fight was supposed to be a formality, a payday, an easy night. But deep down, in a place Tyson does not want to look, he knows he is not ready. Not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. What Tyson said to his cornerman between rounds revealed everything. The fight happens on Sunday night, February 11th, 1990. The Tokyo Dome is packed, 40,000 people. The energy is electric. Buster Douglas enters first. He looks focused, determined. His mother died 23 days ago. He is fighting with grief, with purpose, with nothing to lose. Tyson enters next. The crowd roars. He is wearing black trunks with no socks, the way he always does. He looks dangerous. He looks like Iron Mike. But inside, he feels disconnected, like he is watching himself from a distance. The fight starts. Douglas is moving well, jabbing, keeping Tyson at distance. This is not how Tyson's fights usually go. Usually Tyson charges forward, overwhelms opponents with speed and power, finishes them early. But Douglas is not overwhelmed. He is fighting smart, disciplined, and Tyson cannot find his rhythm, cannot close the distance the way he needs to. Round after round, Douglas outboxes him. Tyson lands some good shots. In the 8th round, he drops Douglas with an uppercut. Douglas goes down hard. This is supposed to be the moment Tyson takes over. The moment the underdog realizes he does not belong in the ring with a champion. But Douglas gets up, beats the count, keeps fighting. And Tyson, tired, frustrated, does not press the advantage the way he should, does not finish. Between rounds, Tyson sits on his stool. His corner is talking to him, but he is not really hearing them. His mind is somewhere else. One of his cornermen asks, "Are you okay, champ? You with us?" Tyson nods, but his eyes are distant, flat. He is not present, not fully. He is thinking about Cus, thinking about how disappointed Cus would be watching this performance, thinking about how he let discipline slip away, how he let the wrong people into his life, how he stopped doing the work when no one was watching. And this is when Don King made the decision that sealed Tyson's fate. King was not in Tyson's corner during the fight. He was sitting ringside. But in the weeks leading up to the fight, King made decisions that directly impacted Tyson's preparation. He scheduled Tyson for appearances and promotional events that pulled him away from training. He allowed Tyson's training camp to become unfocused, undisciplined. Because King was not thinking about Tyson's long-term development. He was thinking about money, about the next fight, about keeping the gravy train moving. And Tyson, without Cus to protect him, without strong advisors to push back, went along with it. The 10th round starts. Douglas is in control now, confident. Tyson is exhausted, flat-footed. His defense is sloppy. Douglas lands a 4-punch combination. Right uppercut, left hook, right uppercut, left hook. The final left hook catches Tyson clean on the jaw. His legs wobble. He stumbles backward. The referee jumps in, starts counting. Tyson tries to find his mouthpiece, which flew out when the punch landed. He is on his knees, reaching for it desperately. Like if he can just find the mouthpiece, he can keep fighting. But the count reaches 10. Mike Tyson, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, is knocked out. For the first time in his professional career, he is lying on the canvas, defeated. The crowd erupts. Douglas is crying, celebrating. Tyson is on his back, staring at the ceiling of the Tokyo Dome, trying to process what just happened. The night before the fight, Tyson made a phone call no one knew about. He called his old neighborhood in Brooklyn, called a friend from his youth, someone who knew him before the fame, before the money, before any of this. Tyson told his friend he did not feel right, did not feel like himself, did not feel ready. His friend asked if he wanted to pull out of the fight. Tyson said he could not. Too many people depending on him, too much money involved, too much expectation. So he would go through with it. He would walk into that ring and hope muscle memory took over. Hope that being Iron Mike was enough. But hope is not a strategy. And muscle memory only works when it is built on discipline. And Tyson's discipline had been eroding for years. After the fight, the world is in shock. The biggest upset in boxing history. The media wants answers. Tyson is quiet. He does not make excuses, does not blame anyone. He says Douglas was the better man that night. Which is true. But the deeper truth, the truth Tyson is not ready to admit yet, is that he lost the fight long before he stepped into that ring. He lost it when he stopped listening to Cus's lessons, when he let the wrong people guide his career, when he chose comfort over discipline. 20 years later, Tyson finally explained what he was really thinking. In interviews, podcasts, and his one-man show, Tyson talks about the Douglas fight differently than he did in 1990. He is honest now, raw. He admits he was not the same fighter without Cus. Admits he was lost, searching for something he could not name. Admits the fame and the money and the chaos of his personal life were distractions he did not know how to handle. He admits he was lonely, deeply, painfully lonely. Surrounded by people, but completely alone. I was trying to be this character everyone expected me to be, Tyson said in a 2013 interview. Iron Mike, the baddest man on the planet. But I did not feel bad. I felt scared. I felt lost. And I did not have anyone to tell that to. Cus would have understood. Cus would have known what to say. But Cus was gone. And everyone else just wanted me to keep winning so they could keep making money. Tyson says the loss to Douglas was the beginning of a long, painful education. An education about who he was without boxing. About what happens when success is built on a foundation that is not stable. About the importance of having people in your life who care about you. Not just what you can do for them. It took him years to learn those lessons. Years of more losses, more chaos, prison, bankruptcy, public humiliation. But looking back, Tyson sees the Douglas fight as the moment everything started to crack. The moment the facade fell away and revealed what was underneath. And what was underneath was a young man who never really had a chance to grow up. Who went from juvenile detention to the heavyweight championship in less than a decade, who had power and fame and money, but no emotional foundation to handle any of it, who needed guidance and protection, but was surrounded by people who exploited him instead. Tyson does not make excuses for his behavior. He owns his mistakes. But he also understands now that the Douglas fight was not just a sporting upset. It was a symptom of something deeper. A young man collapsing under the weight of expectations he was never prepared to carry. The lesson Tyson learned, the lesson he shares now with young fighters and young people in general, is this: success without support is fragile. Talent without discipline is temporary. And no matter how strong you are, no matter how tough, you cannot do it alone. You need people who love you for who you are, not what you can do. You need structure. You need discipline. You need a foundation built on something real. Cus D'Amato tried to give Tyson that foundation, and for a while it worked. But when Cus died, Tyson did not have the tools yet to maintain it himself. He was too young, too vulnerable, too surrounded by the wrong influences. And so he fell. Hard. Publicly. Painfully. But he survived. He rebuilt, not as a fighter, but as a person. And that rebuilding, that painful growth, that is the real story. Not the knockout in Tokyo, but what came after. The long, difficult journey of becoming whole. Mike Tyson lost everything in that Tokyo ring. His title, his undefeated record, his aura of invincibility. But in losing everything, he eventually found something more valuable. He found himself, the real Mike Tyson. Not the character, not the monster, just a man trying to understand his life and his choices and his pain.
And that man, flawed and honest and still learning, is more interesting than Iron Mike ever was.